Welcome to your Monday morning espresso shot. Let us begin by placing our awareness in the area of the heart, taking slow, deep, gentle breaths, and experiencing these breaths flowing in and out of our hearts, breathing a little slower, a little gentler than you normally would, and just take as deep breaths as you can. Maintain your awareness in the area of the heart as you take these slow, deep breaths. This allows you to step away from your mind just for the next few minutes and be more present and allow your heart to mechanically modulate your autonomic nervous system. This is a very powerful technique, so take those slow, deep, gentle breaths and experiencing them flowing in and out of your heart, even though you're going to be breathing from your nose or your mouth. Just visualize these flowing in and out of your heart, breathing a little slower, a little gentler than you normally would. See how deep you can inhale and use the same amount of time to exhale. See if you can breathe even deeper for a little longer. Excellent. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Today's I Didn't Know That Moment is about unleash the child within. I'm assuming that each of you either have children or know of somebody who does. Perhaps you're an aunt or an uncle. Perhaps you have your own children. And I invite you, if you have these young children, I invite you to let them play. Let them learn how to be joyous, unbounded. A lot of times I remember the statement and saying when I was young that children should not be heard, they should only be seen. I want us to think of this differently because it does impact us in our adulthood. A recent article or an article in 2008 published in Psychology Today said that each adult has an inner child component, that we live with this inner child. And the inner child always is there. It's either wounded or it's not. So if you see someone behaving in a way that you want to model after, they usually have their inner child in check and harmonized with them. If you see somebody who's behaving in a way that's unwanted or gives you a feeling of distance, that you want to stay away from them, it's likely that that person has an unresolved inner child. And all they need to do is just allow their inner child to play. And it goes like this. Children know how to have fun. They use their imagination. They'll make a game out of anything. Now, I was with a friend of mine yesterday who has two young children. One of them is very young. She's 5 years old. And she would tell me, knock, knock. And I would say, who's there? And she'd say, Gondor. And I'd say, Gondor who? And she says, Gondor knows. Now, it doesn't make sense to an adult, that knock, knock joke. But she started laughing. And she was just having fun. And she never got tired of saying those knock, knock jokes, even though they did not really make sense to an adult. It made sense to her. So I invite you to be the child, to play the child, because that is where your adult behavior is influenced by the unresolved trauma that you've experienced as a child. Some of that trauma comes in before you were 7, before you were able to actually have an awareness, a distinction between what's sarcastic comments and what are not. In other words, if your parents said to you, well, that was very silly of you, in a playful way, that becomes the children of yet less than 5 years or 7 years old do not understand that is sarcasm, and it's a playful gesture. They don't understand that, so they take it literally. So what we have to do as adults, we have to unpack, unravel, and get rid of that subconscious belief that's sitting within us that actually dictates our behavior. So I invite you now to think about that inner child of yours, to think about what a child does. And I want you to look at a child and emulate them. I want you to go and have fun, enjoy life, be more joyful. And I know that my own life history, for me, I felt guilty whenever I was having fun. I didn't know how to have fun. Whenever you open up a dance floor, I just shy away because I know that if I'd be more self-conscious when I do that. What will people think of me? But there are some times when I'm feeling in my heart, I go out there and I dance, the storm, and I'm told I'm a very good dancer. So I invite you now to tap into that inner child. What gives you joy? Does splashing through water give you joy? And if you do something fun and if a memory plays back that says you should not be doing this, you'll ruin your dress or you'll ruin your clothes. I invite you to go ruin your dress and ruin your clothes. I invite you to be a rebel. I invite you to become more of that child and heal that inner trauma that you've been carrying that may be dictating subconsciously, unconsciously, your outward behavior that is unwanted. I invite you to do that. Let us begin now to place our awareness in the area of the heart, taking slow, deep, gentle breaths. Visualize these flowing in and out of your heart, just like you did earlier. But now what I'd like you to do, with your eyes closed, I'd like you to play hide and seek with that inner child. I want you to go look for that inner child in your body. Somewhere that little child is hiding. The child is happy. The child is hiding. I want you to go look for that child. And you know, when you play hide and seek, the joy is in finding, discovering the child. The child experiences exhilaration. The child doesn't want to be found, and yet the child wants to be found. And the biggest joy that comes is when the adult meets the child and when the child is discovered and both laugh. I want you to have that fun right now. Go looking for that child in your body right now. I want you to listen for the little giggles. Children love to hide, but from an adult's perspective, they're not very good hiders. We know where they are, but we take our time. We don't we don't out them right away. We play with them. We say, "Are you here? I can't hear you," and then you hear little giggles coming. I want you to go and play with that inner child of yours. And I want you to now anticipate that moment when you and the child meet eye to eye. And I want you to find that child. I want you to just experience the joy that you both feel when you discover each other. Once you look at the child in the eye, I want you to do what comes naturally. I want you to talk to the child. Explore. Have a discussion. Perhaps the child wants something from you. And I know what you want from the child. I know. And if it feels appropriate, if it feels right, ask the little child to remind you whenever you're not being playful, whenever you're not experiencing joy, let the child come out and remind you to play with the child within you. Allow yourself to become one with the child now. You may open your eyes now. Thank you so much for playing with me today. I really appreciate the, the moment that we've spent together this morning. And I hope we continue to do that. I'll be back again next week. I'm happy to take questions or your impressions of anything that you have experienced through this meditation. Please feel free to type in your comments if you have any questions. And I wanted to let you know that this is what I took you through today, the I didn't know that moment, is actually part of Loving Your Inner Child deep dive webinar I did on Saturday. And this particular Loving Your Inner Child the deep dive talked about the inner child, the scientific basis of it, but then it has about a 30-minute experiential practice which is posted now. So if you're a member of Ignite, you can access this as part of your membership. Incidentally, if you're a member of Ignite, I'm opening up the opportunity for you to bring 3 more friends, family, to access Ignite for free as long as you are an Ignite member. So send me an email with the names, with the email addresses and the first names of the individuals you wish to add to your membership. So basically they'll have their own login information and they'll be able to access all Ignite content, okay, including this one. If you're a member of Shine and Ignite, I've actually stripped out the 30 minutes of open and closed eye meditation, a sample of which you had just a few minutes ago. The Unleashing My Inner Child. It's a collage of vision board, which is open eye meditation, and then heart math, heart coherence building, closed eye meditation, and they kind of interweave with each other for 30 minutes. And this is available to Shine members, and of course it's also available to Ignite members. And of course, I'll be in April with my dearest sister, Dr. Amber Wolf, Lee Carroll, Monica, and we'll be in Sedona. And we've got some exciting things that we're revealing at that point in time. If you do plan to be there with the family here, please let me know and I'll look out for you. All right. And now questions, Q&A. There are some questions here. All right. So we have from Cecile. Hello, Cecile. Cecile's asking, can we use the joy of that inner child to unravel and heal a physical problem, such as an organ that is not functioning as it should? Thank you for that question, Cecile. You know, the Eastern when you look at Eastern wisdom, ancient wisdom, there's an organ that does not work properly in the body. It's because it's held by an energy field that is put there by us, by you. And that may have come about as a result of a childhood trauma, an adult onset trauma, many things. What I would say is that yes, studies have shown that by experiencing joy, compassion, and the more intense experiencing of joy and compassion and love and appreciation and gratitude, the higher the intensity of that emotion, the more you'll be able to break the bond of that energy field that no longer serves you. It is, because it's physics. So what you have to do is you have to have a higher intensity of compassion, love, and gratitude to break through the intensity of emotion that's keeping that disease in place. Okay? And so you have to have that overwhelming amount of joy to really rewrite and reform and reshape the energy field that's not serving you right now. Of course, you have to see your physician to help you with this. It's probably a combination of the two, but your inner child, finding that joy and allowing the inner child to play a lot more, will help you increase your intensity of your emotion that's going to serve you well. So yes, you can begin to reverse your diseases, your ailments, your chronic conditions, because there are studies, credible studies that have shown that by experiencing these high intensity emotions of gratitude, you can begin to boost your immune system. 5 minutes of experiencing gratitude and appreciation can boost your immune system for up to 6 hours. And 5 minutes of anger, anxiety can lower your immune system, suppress it for about 6 hours. So yes, thank you for asking that question, Cecile. Anne, hello Anne, it's very early for you in Hawaii. Thank you for joining us. Is it possible for us to have the inner child come out even when we still think that we are too serious, surprising ourselves with fun where there wasn't any before? Can our child be pushy enough to make us change without us consciously working with the inner child? You know, I have a feeling, Anne, that you have already had this happen to you. Because by asking this question, it's clear that that has happened to you. So I say yes, absolutely. There are times when I like to do that with my daughter. She's still upstairs sleeping, teenagers. I like to do this when she's angry at me. I crack a joke, and she tries very hard not to laugh. She tries extremely hard not to laugh, but eventually she laughs, and then it's gone. Her sadness, anger is gone. That inner child just comes right up. The inner child within us is waiting for an opportunity for us to give it permission to come out and play. All it needs is permission. That's all. And so when somebody makes you laugh, even though you're angry, just allow yourself to release it. Just let go. The inner child wants to come out there. So yes, I truly believe that there's spontaneity in the inner child that wants to come out and play and do that. But you have to let go of your guard. And sometimes you can let go of your guard by being in situations or places that allow you to relax a bit. And when you relax a bit, the inner child and joy will come right through. So thank you for that, Anne. I hope that answers your question. Let's see if there's any more coming through. Nothing else is coming through. Wonderful. So thank you so much for joining me today and for your energy that you've shared with us. I appreciate that, and I look forward to seeing you next week, and this replay will be posted in a day or so. Take care. Thank you so much.